What is going on, Zigger Nation? Welcome back to a brand new episode of the After Hours Show. I'm your host, Ryan Rozbiani, and welcome back to the program. We got a lot to talk about today. The gaming stocks mooned. Lucid Motors looks like it wants to die, but it's not dying. And we have to talk about a lot of different things. A lot of our favorite gaming stocks went to the moon today, including Gamestop. We've got a lot to talk about. And, of course, my favorite part of the show, Q&A with you folks in the audience. It's one of the few shows where we interact directly with you, answer your questions about your stocks. So stick around. We're about to get started on the After Hours Show. All right. Welcome back to the show. I'm so happy to have you all here with me. Of course, the important thing is not me. It is the freaking charts. What is going on? I see Dan in there. I see Richard Sung. What's going on, buddy? Welcome. Richard, how you doing? D-Train, we definitely got to talk about playing. My buddy Sung actually took a fantastic options call on it and is doing marvelous. I think we're up 500% on that one in the Patreon, so he killed it with that one. We got a lot to talk about. I want to start off by talking, Dan, what's going on with you, man? I'm doing good. Exciting trading day, exciting stuff. So what I want to start off with is Lucid Motors. Obviously, tomorrow the lockup period ends. Now, I don't want to hear anybody crying, moaning, or wailing about what I'm going to be talking about today. As always, I've promised you unbiased information about all of these stocks. I do have to redraw a few of the lines on the chart because things have been moving since the last time we talked about this stock, which has been it's been a while since we've talked about it. But this is the thing. I don't want to hear any crying or moaning about this one. I'm going to tell you my overall view on Lucid Motors, and then I'm going to talk to you about my short-term trading plan on Lucid Motors and then my long-term trading plan on Lucid Motors. So long-term, I love Lucid Motors. I think it's going to be a fantastic company. I think it's going to do very, very well. It's going to take some of the kind of the luxury car market space away from Tesla versus the Model S, but I don't see them as a direct competitor to Tesla. Tesla is aiming to kind of take the economical style portion of cars in that world. They want to compete with the Toyotas and the Hyundais of the world, whereas Lucid really wants to be around the grand scheme of things of these higher end cars, hence the more expensive price target between 70 and like 130, 140, 150. It's an expensive car, so it doesn't make sense. I mean, your average Joe isn't going to go out there and buy a Lucid motor. Your average Joe can go out there and buy like a Model 3 with government credits and stuff like that for much cheaper. So long term, I see Lucid as a fantastic company. It has its place in the market and in the world, and I think it's going to do very well. Short term, I think Lucid's going to bleed. And rightfully so, because the lockup period ends. What it means for a lockup period is a SPAC has two catalysts that happen that are kind of negative. One, it's the redemption of warrants time period where like, hey, we're redeeming all of our warrants. You got to come in or your warrants expire. And that kind of creates a bit of problems within the stock price. And part two is when the lockup period ends. That's the people who are in the big pipe investors, those big kahunas, those guys who established that beautiful $10 floor for you here back when the thing was a SPAC. Those guys are your pipe investors. Those guys are the ones who keep the floor. They're like, hey, we're going to invest this money. We're going to leave it here until the lockup period ends in hopes that it comes back much higher, right? Some of them bought at 10, some of them bought at 15. Based off of the second update, there was a second round of people that bought around 15 for the pipe. And then really the baseline was 10, right? So what we're seeing here now is once that lockup period ends, those guys are going to do well. And there's a lot of people that are in there. I'm not going to name names because I don't want to cause problems or issues with anyone that's out there in the world that does these kind of things. But the big thing that I would say to you is that there are people that invest in SPACs and certain entities, and they'd like to get their money out fairly quickly, right? They put it in, they flip it, they pull their money out as things kind of run up and do their thing. And there's quite a few of those folks within Lucid. And tomorrow on September 1st, I can't believe it's September already. It blows my mind how fast this year is going. The lockup period on Lucid ends. It feels like just a few months ago, there were people chasing airplanes to see when this definite agreement would come out. But tomorrow, our lockup period ends. And I'm looking at the chart, and we're going to go through it together. I have to redraw these two lines down here. They're clearly not accurate anymore. But there are some terminologies that happen. Things that happen is the stock is clearly in a bearish pattern, right? I want to flip my RSI and MACD because I like to have my RSI up top and my MACD on the bottom. There we go. That's more like it. We're clearly in a downtrend. whether we like it or not, we're in a downtrend. Now, we do have strong support at 20. We've hit 20 here, we've hit 20 here, and we've hit 20 here, and it's held. We've seen that intraday a few days. Yesterday as well came down to a low of 1986, but closed at 2064. Now, what I'm worried about tomorrow is, and this is why I've opened a position in puts a few days ago, full disclosure, nothing massive, but I bought some puts because I wanted to make money on the way down. Because look, this is my plan. This is what I did. This is how I traded Lucid the first time. I bought Lucid Motors around $12 and Lucid Motors around $16. When this insane run-up happened, which was unjustifiable, there was no reason for it, I sold my shares around $50. Around here, yes, it ran up higher. No, I didn't catch the top. I don't care. I took my profits. And then the stock proceeded to cool off and come back down. When the stock came down to around this $17 area again, I said, hey, I like it down here. I'm going to buy some more. So I bought some more, and it was a little higher than my average. I averaged up. I think my average at that point was around, I want to say $16.50, $70, something like that. And then when this run up was happening around here, I said, hey, look, I know that this lockup period situation is coming up very soon, and I'm going to get out. So I got around the $22, $23 area. I don't remember exactly. I signaled it to the Patreon members, and I talked to a few of the leaders within the team, and I said, hey, this is what I want to do. And they agreed with me. They said it's a good idea. So I got out here. I exited around here, and as you can see, the stock proceeded to kind of mellow down. Yes, it had pops. Yes, I didn't sell at the top. It's very impossible, nor do I care about selling at the top ever. But then it mellowed out. And I think the same kind of situation is going to happen again. So what I did was I took puts. I said, hey, you know what I'm going to do? I know the stock is going to go down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy puts on it, and the money that I make on the way down, I like the stock long term. I'll buy commons. I'll use that money plus the money that I've made off of these 2 rounds of kind of swing trading it to buy commons, because I do want this in a long-term position. And I do actually intend to put a chunk of this within my IRA. So if you guys know me and you've been on the show before, or you've watched the show before, Marathon Digital Holdings is a stock that I like very much, and I'm bullish on. They make up about 9% of my Roth IRA. And this company is one of those other companies that I'd like to include in my Roth IRA. Right now I have a ETF called DRIV. It is a kind of EV ETF, but I also have ARKW in there, which gives me exposure to Tesla. So I'm thinking I'm going to sell the DRIV. I'm going to transfer over the funds that I need, that I'll make here, to my Roth IRA, and I'll buy Lucid stock there. Now, I want to kind of establish with you all here while we're together where I think the stock can go. Now, the issue that we're going to have right now is I'm going to have to turn off some of these indicators here in order for us to be able to, not MACD and RSI, where did you go? Come back. To be able to establish where our support points are, right? We established that $20 is our support. I'm going to make this line a little thinner, and I'm going to lock it in. We do have some support down here at 1725, but I don't like 1 bar support area. But if we kind of look down here, if we kind of come back here, this is where I'd like to establish my support line would be around here. So I'm going to have to move in over so we can get a little bit of a scale. So around this low point on these two, which is around 1610, 1620, that's where I'll draw like a soft line of support down here and kind of line it up. By the way, the platform that I'm using is Webull. It's the Webull trading platform. You can trade between 4 a.m. to 8 p.m. if you like. There's a link to it if you'd like to download it for free at ryanstocks.com. This is what the website looks like, ryanstocks.com. You can download Webull, deposit $5, and get 2 free stocks. So that's just if you'd like to use the Webull trading platform. That's what I'm using. A lot of folks go out and buy TradeView if they're new traders. I don't recommend that right off the bat because I think it's a little too early to jump into a platform like TradeView, whereas Webull is a little bit more less risky and free. Less risky and free and less complicated. Not risky, less complicated. So if we look at it now, we have 2 levels of support. We have 1610 and we have around 20. Now, we do also have a very, very, very soft support here at 1725. But again, my rule is 1 candle doesn't constitute support. So I can't use that based off my personal rules of support. And I get it. I know a lot of you folks, I'm already seeing it in there, that a lot of you folks don't like the fact that I'm a little negative on Lucid, but I'm negative on Lucid short term. I like them long term. I'm seeing some comments coming in. There we go. Jeff, what's going on, buddy? Welcome back as always. Diamond says we're going to 15. That's not Bitcoin. We're going to talk about Bitcoin. I don't know where Bitcoin came from. But we're definitely going to talk about Bitcoin. I promise you. I got to show you guys. I got to update you guys on Bitcoin. I'm seeing Zom and Crowd. We'll definitely talk about that, Kevin. I promise you. Just by Tesla, Lucid is vapor water. This is the thing, though. I have to say this. I love Tesla. It's one of my largest holdings. My largest holdings in my long account fluctuate between Tesla and Marathon. And that's just how I am. And I know a lot of people frown upon that, but screw them. It's my money. I like to do what I want with it. But I don't think Lucid is vapor water just because of the technology that we've seen from them. Yes, I agree with you 100%. They have a lot to prove. They have a lot to do. They have to roll out a lot of things. And I think that In time, they will prove themselves, and in time, that will give us the ability to buy shares for much cheaper. I do agree valuing this company at $32.3 billion right now is overvalued for a company that hasn't had a car on the lot yet. But I do not mind buying this at 16 bucks, at 15 bucks, at even $10. I'd load the boat. But I just think that it takes time. And in the past, this is the thing, though. In the past, people used to say the same thing about Tesla. Tesla's vapor water, Tesla's garbage. Who's going to buy an electric car? And now more and more, we're seeing a lot of them on the road. So I'm not going to discount Lucid on that. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt, but I'm going to mitigate my risk by slowly scaling it. Travel World Magazine, what's going on? Welcome back to the stream. Richard, what's going on? I see a lot of, I wouldn't put $1 on a current price on Tesla. I'll wait for 400. I haven't bought Tesla up here. I'll agree with you. It's a little risky for me to buy Tesla over 600. I don't buy Tesla over 600 personally. Will I regret it one day? Sure, but I loaded up a lot. Sung and I actually, we were buying a lot of Tesla during that February to make correction. We were just buying as much as we could on days that were really red. So that's what I did. That was my Tesla strategy. Born Free, what's going on? Stephen Wilkinson, what's going on, buddy? Welcome back. Jeff, I like Lucid puts for the short term. Me too, buddy. Cardano pull back to $2. We'll definitely talk about it. AMC we will talk about. Competition keeps the competition honest. I agree with you. Competition is very healthy. We need it in this space. Anyway, we could talk Pfizer 100%. We will talk about it. Rivian IPO would buy Rivian IPO at $80 billion over Lucid. I would not. I wouldn't pay $80 billion for Rivian. Same reason I wouldn't pay $30 billion for Lucid. Massively overvalued on both accounts, in my opinion. And I don't know the Rivian team. I don't trust the Rivian team, whereas I do trust the Lucid team much more. Peter Rawlinson is a proven engineer. He's a proven executor. We've seen what he's done with the Model S, what he did with the Model X at Tesla. But Rivian, I don't know anything about them. I haven't looked into them, and I believe that IPO will come crashing down. It's going to be a parallel situation as to what happened to Coinbase, and I don't know if they're going to direct. If they direct IPO, I wouldn't touch that thing with a fucking 100-foot pole. If they're going to do a regular IPO, I'd still wait on that too. I imagine that will crash as well and then come back up. That's the thing is, we're entering into the oversaturated EV market. Now, don't ask me about Fisker. Someone asked me about Fisker, so I can tell you my opinions on Fisker, but don't ask me about Fisker. Actually, if you want to know about Fisker, I'll do this. My team and I, we have a cool little podcast on my YouTube channel. It's called the Trading Together Podcast. We, on our very first episode of the podcast, by the way, if you guys go to ryanstocks.com and hit the first tile, you can subscribe to my channel, and that would mean the world to me. You don't have to do anything else today. That's all I ask for you is if you subscribe. On our first episode, we discussed heavily on Fisker stock. We spent a lot of time, this is an hour-long podcast, about 20, 30 minutes in the beginning were directly given to Fisker. And we talked about Fisker stock deeply because it's something where all four of us had different opinions on it. And I think it was a very healthy discussion. So I highly recommend you go to Ryan Stocks and watch that episode and subscribe to the channel. We got a new podcast coming out tomorrow. As you can see, Quentin here was there with us. The podcast is fire, and Quentin's awesome. Shout out to you, Quentin. Okay, so I'm seeing all your stuff here. World Magazine, thank you so much for your kind comments. It means the world. Okay, I see all you guys' kind comments. Let's dive into my methodology here for Lucid. Then I'm going to go into some of the gaming stocks that rocked out. And then on the second half of the show from 5:30 onward, we will talk about all of your stocks that you guys want to talk about, and we will jam out there so we can kind of get you guys involved a little bit more. So stick around, smash that like button. Let's have some fun together. I think we can have a really good stream today. So, okay, this is my methodology, my plan. Look, tomorrow, I'm going to see what happens tomorrow. If we break down and we break down hard and we see around 1610, if I start to see slight bounces here, this is where I would scale into my first position. Around 1610. Next, I will be looking to enter around the $15 psychological entry point. Everyone wants to enter around 15. That's why I'm looking to enter around 1610 to 1550. Everyone's saying 15, 15, 15, 15, which means it will bounce before it gets to 15. So I'm looking to enter around 1610. And I will alert my Patreon members. The Patreon is now closed for this month of August, obviously because tomorrow's September, but it will open up next month, tomorrow. And I'll be adding a few slots tomorrow to it. So if you'd like to join, DM me on Twitter and I'll let you know first, because you guys are coming from the Benzinga stream. DM me and I'll let you know first that, hey, I'll open individual slots for you, and then I'll open it up to the public so that if you guys want to join, you can do that. But first entry I'm looking at is around $16 is where I'm looking to enter. It could bounce at 17.25, sure, but it all depends on the velocity of exit. How many people are exiting? How is the selling pressure there? It's 1610. Now, 1610 breaks and we hit 15 and 15 doesn't bounce. Realistically, at that point, I'll be looking to enter around 13.14 for my second part. And if 13.14 breaks, we're going to 10. People don't like to hear that. That's okay. If you're a long-term investor in this and you decided to keep your position throughout all this and not to hedge and not to do whatever you like, that's 1,000%, 1,010% up to you. And that's completely fine. That's completely fine. That's the thing. I was a long-term investor and still am a long-term investor in Mara. Mara went from $3 to $60, back to $20, and now back to $40. I didn't do much with it. I played some puts on it here and there, some calls on it here and there, but realistically, I didn't sell and buy back in. And really, you shouldn't with a long-term position. You shouldn't do that. So that being said, I totally understand the methodology a lot of you are saying is, hey, I'm just going to hold it, which makes 1,000% sense. I was in it and had to sell, just stagnant. Yeah, I get it. I totally get it. I totally get what you guys are talking about. I think you guys are talking about Lucid, but it looks like you're talking about VOOS. You guys have your own conversation here. So, okay, I'm not going to interrupt. You guys keep going. So that's my plan for Lucid. Pretty straightforward. Next stock I want to talk to you about is CRSR. Now, these next two stocks that I'm going to be talking to you about are gaming stocks. CRSR. What the heck? CRSR, Corsair Gaming. I don't know why Weeble did that to me just now. We're going to pretend we all saw that together, and that was just a boo-boo. So if you guys know me by now, you know I like my setup. I like to have my Bollinger Bands, my 9 exponential moving average, and I like to have my 50 MA and 200 MA if it constitutes the ability to have a 200 MA, because a lot of these stocks don't have 200 MA sometimes because they haven't been live for 200 days yet. So looking at this here, this stock opened up very bullish today. Very, very bullish. And a lot of people are saying this is due to Wall Street bets. I don't think so. It's only a 2% gain on a low float stock. This is natural. The stock was depressed for a long period of time. We regained the 50 MA. Just remember that in your head so I can turn it off. The stock is slowly making its way back up. This has been on the watch list for the Patreon for a while. I was telling folks, hey, buy it down here. This is going to come back up, and we popped today. So let's say you bought around the $25 area. You should be up pretty well. You should be up around 23% if you play this with us in the Patreon. 23% on a long-term swing position in a matter of, 4, 8, 9 days, 9 trading days is fantastic. People need to realize that these percentages are good. We will eventually go back to a market where 100% runners are not normal. And this was a good play. I like what they did today. I don't think there was any massive news coming out of it. There was nothing really big that came out of it, but I think it was just depressed for so long, and the valuation is fantastic on this company. It's got a PE of 16. There's very few companies out there in the tech world which have a PE of 16. So I mean, and with a positive EPS and all that stuff. So I was very happy to see this movement here in CRSR. Now, the penny stock equivalent, which is ELYS, this has been a one that we've been swinging in the Patreon around $4. Ran today to 672. Massive movement here. So let's say this is around our $4 point, around down here. Let's say you added. So you had a massive 68% run movement if you DCA'd in with the Patreon. So they had a really, really good day. Massive candle, 42% runner, low float. This was due. This wasn't a pump. This was due. Look, it moved because there's been, throughout this whole time, they had a very good presentation. Things were looking great. They were having fun. Born to be free, don't be sorry, man. I like it when you guys have conversations. You guys are conversing. It's good for the algorithm. But ELYS did a fantastic move today. Now, I do think it should start to cool off tomorrow a bit, as we're seeing here in the after hours. That's healthy. You don't want a stock to just run up. That will cause a massive run down as well. If you saw ADTX, now, those bastards did an offering, but as you saw here in ADTX, that thing ran up and came crashing down the next day. So keep that in mind. Now, we can't talk about gaming stocks without talking about GameStop, obviously. GameStop picked up as well. GameStop's been doing very well. If you look here, this 221 area, which lines up with the Fibonacci's right here around the 38% Fibonacci level, has been resistance for a while for GameStop. GameStop, in my opinion, is sort of trying to set up itself to break out. I think at the slightest news, this will pop and go to the 250s, 260s. Why? Why do I say this? Why am I saying this? No, I'm not trying to pump it or anything. It's got a low float. It's got traditionally volume flows in. This moves up majorly. If you look on 14 million volume, 14.5 million volume, it moves about 27%. So imagine that kind of movement, and you've got a bit of a technical setup happening here as well. So I have to say, I think GameStop, if they give us any sort of news, will begin to move and have kind of its good day. It was being pumped in a few rooms. Which one? ELYS or GameStop? I don't. This is what I say to you folks, and I hope you guys take this with a grain of salt. This is why, like, I was in many rooms before. I've worked with many rooms before. I've been guests in many rooms before. I'm currently guests in many rooms. Those are the paid rooms you guys are, that folks pay for. I'm a guest in them where they like, hey, we want you to be here, hang out with us. I'm in there. I try to answer questions if I'm asked. I don't provide much in there because I have my own team. But one thing that I'll tell you is by the time it gets to Twitter, by the time you see it in some places, it's already too late. You need to find a good trading team, a good trading Discord, a good trading community, whether it's a Telegram, a Patreon, whatever it is. Find a good team, mesh with them, and start like building and playing and learning with them. Like I can show you, like, I'm not trying to toot my own horn or plug it, but we fostered a fantastic community at ours. Like, for example, play, like Sung calls out his plays with us as well. He's one of the admins here. He goes, plan. We wanted to do it kind of like a earnings play. If you look, it's ran 527% already on an options play. Fantastic, right? Usman is one of our members here. He's a newer trader. He's been struggling a bit, but he's been learning and chugging and making his way back up. And he's doing fantastically, and I'm very happy for him and what he did. So as you can see, it's very important to find a good trading team, because sometimes by the time it gets to Twitter, it's really too late. It's really too late. I wouldn't pay attention to the pumps. Yeah, I'd pay attention and stay away. That's your best bet. With pumps, pay attention and stay away. So GameStop, we talked about it. Fantastic. Okay, I want to update you guys on SPY and Bitcoin, and then we will move on to your stocks. So I'm going to go to SPY first. S&P 500 looks like it's rallying again, and now in the after hours. During the day it was down, but in after hours it's picking up. So tomorrow will be a very interesting day. I'd like to see the 1 hour. What is Apple moving? I think Apple took a bit of a dip in the after hours. If we look at the 1 minute chart on Apple, it got very interesting. Look at this massive red candle on Apple in the after hours. I'm sorry, into close actually. So you had a bit of a depressed dip, about a dollar movement, which is big for Apple. It's got a 17 billion float. GameStop has earnings come up. Yeah, Leo, I'll tell you this: if GameStop has something interesting there, I wouldn't be surprised if it popped. I don't have a position. I'm not trying to pump it. I just tell you how it is with everything. If something sucks, I'll tell you. If something's good, I'll tell you. SPY is setting up for its kind of its grand movement. It did its grand move. I told you guys, I was talking about you guys. I said this thing's going to 450. We went to 453. How long this keeps going, I'm not sure. I think the next CPI will be a bit devastating to SPY. We'll have a similar type of movement here. What happens with SPY is I've talked about this extensively in my YouTube channel. I did a full video, so I won't spend too much time here, but I explained it in the YouTube channel. If you go to ryanstocks.com, hit this YouTube tile and subscribe, please. That would mean the world to me. In this video right here, boom. No. Where are you? This one. In this video, I described exactly, and it played out exactly like I said. I said, hey, SPY, after CPI 3 to 5 days, will dip. We'll come around the 50 MA and then bounce, or the bottom Bollinger Band and bounce. And exactly that happened. Now, this time, I think CPI comes back better. Month over month CPI was fantastic last time. We went lower. I think year over year will start to go down this time. So it's going to be interesting. I'll do a full YouTube video on there. I'll explain it. I'll explain how it's going to affect SPY and all these other things for you, so you can be prepared. You can play calls, puts, whatever you want. You can be educated and prepared. So last one that I want to talk about, and then we're going to move on to your stocks, is Bitcoin. And I think this will be beneficial for you all, because I think Bitcoin is one that a lot of your stocks are affected, especially like any SPRT, all the fun stones, BTBT. This is a 1 hour chart. Like, what are we doing here? Okay, so we had a bit of a channel here in Bitcoin, and it broke it. So this is kind of useless now. So we're going to break it here, but you have resistance there. I'm not going to delete that. I don't need it anymore. So we're kind of building a bit of a line here. So look, your master support is your 50 moving, your 200 moving average. If you saw my Bitcoin video on my YouTube channel, again, not a plug, I'm just saying, like, here, take a look at this. Bitcoin's about to moon. I still stand by that. If you look here, we're forming a golden cross. Our 50 moving average is picking up as our price action is getting much better. We do need to test the 50s 1 to 2 more times in order to complete this golden cross, or this will start to flatten out if we start trading sideways. But I do believe we will come retest the 200 moving average. We will kind of double bottom, and then we will go back up. That's kind of my methodology here. Now, this chart looks very bearish. Look at this, RSI is going down, MACD is going down, price is coming down, very bearish. 4-hour chart is something that a lot of Bitcoiners like to look at as well. Quite bearish, right? Quite bearish. You broke the 50 MA on the 4-hour. It's bearish. Your 1-hour chart is also bearish. 30-minute chart is quite bearish as well. Your 5-minute chart is bearish, and your 1-minute chart is also very bearish. But that's okay. I'm a Bitcoin bull through and through. I think this is a long-term play. I like it very, very, very much. I do want to share some cool news with you guys on what I did this week in terms of Bitcoin. But if we look at SPRT, which is a Bitcoin sympathy play, or it was, now it's a short interest play. I do have to turn off a few of these indicators because sometimes this freaking thing just does not want to play. Because this is what happens when you get one weird candle. Everything just goes kaplooey and it starts getting weird. So I'm going to, Bollinger Bands won't do much for me. We're touching the bottom. We're touching the top of the Bollinger Band, which is really weird. I don't like these kind of setups personally. I told my team to take profits when we were running here, and a lot of them listened, and they were very, very happy because we were in this stock from $4. So I was very, very happy. Listen to my buddy Jeff and smash the like button. Wow, Riot did a $600 million. Oh, hold on, ladies and gentlemen. Breaking news on Riot. Riot garbage blockchain. Riot garbage holdings. I've always hated Riot. No one ever listened to me. No one. I begged people. I said, do not buy Riot. It is garbaggio. There it is. How many times did I tell you guys? How many times I posted about this? Nobody believed me. I said, Riot is going to do an offering. They don't got no cash. They don't got Bitcoin. They have nothing. Here it is. Riot blockchain drops a mixed shelf offering. Why is there so much text? Just give me that goddamn chart thing that tells me how much money this thing's for. Okay. I know it's 600 million. Wow. All right, here we go. SEC fee, legal fee. We don't care about the $600 million. $600 million. Here we go. Maximum offering price is not indicated because it's a shelf offering, obviously. Wow. Okay, I need to. I want to send this out in a tweet really quickly because fuck Riot. Excuse my language. I just hate it. I think they're a very shady company. I'm not a fan of them. Screw them. I hope the stock goes to zero. This is very good for our Mara team, our Mara Marines. This is very good for us because what this means is money will flow from Riot into Mara. If you guys remember and recall correctly, proof is in the pudding. 100%. 100%. Dude, look, I was telling people, I was like, Riot has an offering. No, they're gonna drop it. Nobody believed me. Everyone thought I was just you're FUD. FUD and fake news are two different things. Fear, uncertainty, and doubt. You can have fear, you can have uncertainty, and you can have doubt about a company, but you're not spread. It's not fake news. The proof is in the pudding right now. There it is. This should help Mara. Mara is $40 with a 90 million float. It's around 97 now, realistically. This number hasn't been updated. But if you guys remember correctly, if you remember in the past, Riot used to have a much higher price. You'd be like, all right, the float's lower, whatever. But Riot now, Mara has a market cap of $4 billion. I think Riot's 3.7. 3.5. It's got to be lower now. It doesn't update based on, after hours. I told you guys, nobody listened to me. Everyone thought I was just spreading FUD. They didn't like it. They were like, what is the deal? Why are you doing this? Why are you posting? It's not FUD. It's reality. It's fact. It's there. It happens. B. Riley issued a $51 price target. All right, because B. Riley buys Riot and Mara's offerings. I think Riot's garbage. I'm sorry. I wonder if they updated Mara's price target. Mara, in my opinion, is an $80, $90 stock by the end of the year into next year. Form 3, by the way, in case you guys are curious, Form 3s are purchases. And this guy purchases and kind of awards. I do have a form. Let me find it where it does SEC filings. And I'll retweet that for you. I tend to retweet that once every show. SEC. There you go. Your SEC cheat sheet. I refer back to this myself a lot too, because sometimes I forget. It's a buy or sell of benefited-based shares. Benefited-based shares are shares that are awarded to you for compensation. So if you see like awarded for compensation and stuff like that, you can do it right here. Would this help? Okay, I don't know, 705. It's time for me to give you guys the news on Hut 8, what I did this week. I did something very, very juicy. If you guys follow me on Twitter, you would have heard about it. Follow me on Twitter, ryanstocks.com. Hit this thing, hit this little button, and hit the follow button. You can follow me on Twitter. I'll show you what the follow button looks like in case you guys are new to Twitter. It's this guy right here. Even my banner's telling you, hit the follow. Hit the follow. I did something very juicy with Hut 8 this week. I bought shares. I finally bought shares. I've been holding off on Hut 8. During the last stream, we did a bit of an extensive DD into them. Yeah, Chainlink Marines are taken, but I'm Mara Marines are in there too. We're like the we're the ace. I don't know. I don't even know how to say it, but I did buy shares into Hut. Hut is suffering, yeah, because Hut is red right now because Bitcoin's down. But I'm DCAing into Hut. I like Hut a lot. I DCA'd into them. I think Hut is going to be double digits into next year. I think that they've got a very, very, very good team. They've got a very great setup. They've got the cheapest mining operating costs across the board from what I've seen. Could there be others that are cheaper? Sure. I don't know of them. They're not as significant. They don't have a significant hash rate that I care to look into. If your hash rate is low at this point, it's going to be impossible to catch up. If you're under 1 exahash, you shouldn't even be entering the game unless you have the cash to boost it, because all you're going to do is you're going to put your shareholders through offering after offering, the same way Mara did, the same way Riot is still freaking doing, because they can't catch up. So that's what's happening. Take a look at this. I like it. I like Hut. I like Hut a lot. I don't care. I'll buy more shares tomorrow if we go lower. If Hut comes down to 7, 6, I'll buy a ton more. But I started DCAing into the yesterday. I bought shares at 750 and I bought shares at 8, so my average is around 780. So I like Hut a lot. I think it's a fantastic company. But yeah, I retweeted this. It's on my Twitter. You got to follow me. If you're going to use it, you got to follow me. This is kind of like a little cheat sheet on kind of your SEC filings if you'd like to use it and have it. I use it all the time, but sometimes I get confused between a Form 3 and Form 4. Then you remember, oh, a Form 3 is for beneficial shares versus a Form 4, which is actually they're purchasing shares with their own money. I do want to clarify one thing. I want to teach you guys this because someone brought it up to me. Someone was arguing with me. They didn't understand. So I want to kind of bring it to light here. And there's quite a few amount of people in this chat. So I'll kind of bring it to light. So Marathon filed Form 4. So as you look here, down here, this is the equivalent of like a Form 3. I'm using my fingers on the screen like you can see my fingers. This is a Form 3 down here, essentially built into a Form 4. You can have that. It's the shares they were awarded, right? Their compensation comes into shares as well. He was Mr. Frederick Thiel, which is the CEO of Marathon, was awarded 19,949 shares for free, and he was able to sell them. He sold all of them for $35.26, right? But now what you can do is you could pocket that money, or you can reinvest that money into your own company. And he came back and said, "Hey, you know what? I'm going to use that money instead of buying a nice little yacht, a beach house in Honolulu, going to Naples for the summer with the wife and kids." He said, I'm going to buy around 17,000 shares out of my pocket with the money at $35.26 a share and bringing him to 88,000 shares. This is bullish. A gentleman on Twitter was freaking out on me saying, no, this is not bullish, this is bearish. It's free money. No, he could have pocketed the money. It's not a low amount of money. You can do the math right off the top of my head. But you guys have, we've been through streams together where you guys have seen that me doing math off the top of my head does not ever go well. 19,949 times $35.26. That's $700,000. He decided to take that $700,000 and he took 16,000 shares, 986 times 35.26. Of that $700,000, took about $600,000 of it and invested it back into Marathon. That's bullish. Now, Merrick Okamoto, head honcho of Marathon, executive chairman, has over almost 5.5 billion shares. He owns about 5% of the company at this point, from, if I understand, a little bit more than 5. It's 5.5% if I remember the 13G filing. Same exact thing. He was awarded 2.5 million shares. He did a 1.3 million acquisition. I don't know what's more bullish. These guys are just doing. Now, if you go look at Riots, those guys, I'll show you. Like I creep into their company a lot too, because I sometimes I need confirmation bias on how garbage they can be. And don't sue me, bro. This is just my personal opinion. But if you look here, like they do the same thing sometimes too. Credit to them. but they're more of a let's dispose of them. See, look, they received the shares on this one. So Brooks actually kept her shares, his or her shares. I don't know. Kept the shares, I think. Acquired 30,000 shares. This is their Harris. Executive chairman kept the shares. They kept it as restricted. The thing is, restricted shares are cool, but if you turn it to common shares, it'll actually help the stock price. That's the thing. That's what a lot of folks tend to kind of ignore. This is their CEO. He disposed of his shares. See this? D is for dispose. He just said, you know what? I'm donezo with this company. I'm just going to sell my shares. I'm good. Thanks, bro. You dispose your shares, whereas Merrick and Fred Thiel are just buying up shares. They're like, we're not going on vacation. What we're going to do is we're going to invest in our company because we know it's going to go to the moon. So that's enough of that. Let me go back to the beginning. I promised you guys I would talk about some of your stocks. I see Crowd in there. I see AMC in there. I see Plan in there. We're going to start off with Plan because Plan had fantastic earnings. Beat revenue, beat EPS, increased their guidance. The stock is up after hours, beautifully so. As you saw, we alerted Sung alerted in our Discord a beautiful YOLO play and earnings play, which we tend to avoid because sometimes it can be risky, but we analyzed it. We saw it made sense, and he alerted it. Take a look at it here, up 500%, 527%. Again, that will fluctuate. This gentleman is in Canada who posted the screenshot. We don't put, well, Usman did it himself. There you go. He retweeted it himself. So this gentleman's in Canada, so his broker somehow updates in after hours. We're still trying to figure out how that happened, but we'll see tomorrow. But significantly, you can see here they were purchased at 75 cents per contract. So we'll see how that opens up tomorrow. Hopefully they do very, very well. I'm rooting for them. I personally didn't play this one, but I'm very happy when my team is printing. So Plan did very well. Crowd, on the other hand, Crowd did very good on earnings too, but it's coming down. Why? I don't know. Let's take a look at it. I bought more shares of Crowd, by the way, on this dip because I don't care for silly dips are buying opportunities, in my opinion. Here we go. So they raised the full year guidance for a second time this year. Okay, thank you, McAfee. I don't know why you were running a virus scan. If you look here, they raised their EPS. Q3, their EPS was raised between 8 cents and 10 cents versus 9 cents right there. Sales 358 to 365 raised. EPS for FY22 was 43 to 49 cents versus 40 cents estimate, and sales was 1.39 bill to 1.4 versus. So they raised guidance. They beat EPS. They beat sales. Stock's coming down. What does that mean? That means it's a good buying opportunity, in my opinion. I don't care when these stocks come down because to me, this is a stock. This makes up about 4% of my long-term position, I believe. It's probably more now that I bought. But this is, in my opinion, this is easily a $300 stock in a few weeks to months, depending on how the markets tend to react. Now, is this a bad thing that it's come down 4.2, 4.5%? We're down here? No, not at all. Not at all. I think you'll see buyers start to come into it, and everyone's like, it's going to fill the gap. Let it fill the gap. I'll buy more shares. I'll buy more shares. I don't care. I'm very happy with Crowd. I like the company. I like what they're doing. That's all that matters. All right, let's see what is next. What is next? We did Plan. We did that. Let's do AMC really quickly. How did AMC do today? AMC's up and chugging in the after hours. Congratulations to my AMC family. All right, look at you guys go. I'm going to turn Bollinger Bands off. We're touching the top of the Bollinger Band. I just needed to readjust the candles. There we go. I don't know why it squishes it sometimes, but it is what it is. By the way, do me a solid. If you're watching this far into the video, I need some help. I need some inspiration. Do me a favor. Go to ryanstocks.com. Link in the description. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. I don't get paid to be on the show. I do it for 100% free, so they let me plug my shows. So I'm doing this. I'm volunteering my time to help you guys out. Do me a favor in return. Subscribe to the YouTube and follow the Twitter. Prefer if you subscribe to the YouTube channel. That would mean a lot. We're doing a cool podcast tomorrow. I got an awesome video coming out with the cool savings account that I figured out, 7.4% returns. So subscribe to the YouTube channel. It would mean a lot to me. So look here. We're constituting and kind of dancing around resistance now. If we kind of zoom in very, very closely, if you look, we're touching the same points of resistance. I'm not going to do a full line. I'm going to do just a small little trend line and touch here and kind of get it to a 0 point angle. There we go. So I'm going to turn this red and lock this in, make this really thick. So this is the area of resistance we're hitting. So if we look here, you do have a bit of a rounding bottom if you want to consider it on a 5 candle, which is bullish, by the way. So again, this is very parallel. This is what I'm saying is if either GameStop or AMC pick up, these two have momentum to keep going up. Like, this is set up for a move. This is one of those, if you look here, you're setting up for a move, right? So this is exciting. I like what AMC is doing. Again, this is interesting. This is a very, very, very interesting chart. If you look here, this is previous resistance as well back here. I could see this breaking it. Again, very parallel to GameStop. I could see it. I could see this making move. Again, you need a catalyst to make these things move. I thought Black Widow was going to be the catalyst that does it. I don't know. Maybe Shang-Chi is going to do it. That movie that's coming out of Disney. The new Marvel movie. I'm not very bullish on it because I don't know anything about the character. So I don't know what it's going to do. Plus, Disney has that thing where you could stream it at home, which kind of screws the movie theaters a bit. But yeah. All right, I'm scrolling through Gilead, G-I-L-D. I think that's gold. Gilead Sciences. You guys bring me the bio stocks. You guys know I'm garbage at bio stocks. Okay, so you got 90 MA support. You've got 50 MA support since the 10th. No, excuse me, for a while now. Okay, that's very bullish. I like that. Essentially, since 24th of June, you've got 50 MA support. I'm going to turn it off. We don't need it right now. Stock went up. Now it's consolidating, and I think it's looking to make a next leg up. I don't know what these guys actually do. Was there any news? Wins reversal of 1.2 billion award on patent. Wow. Okay, that's big. 4 days ago, it looks like we can see why. 4 days ago, it looks like we were about to go down, and then to kind of start picking back up. It's bullish, actually. I wouldn't mind playing call options on this one. Now, you guys, what happened there for a second was you guys entered my mind. See, on this one, if you were to play calls, you'd have to play in the money because the open interest is so low, right? You'd have to play this one. You have to play the $70 in the money call. Good delta. Very good delta. Your gamma's good too. Your theta. Now, I don't know why the rest of my Greeks aren't on here. Now, again, this is my desktop, which I don't really use much. This computer, I don't use the other one. Theta and Vega. Okay. Not bad at all, actually. You're in the money, so theta is only going to affect your extrinsic value, which is $2. I wouldn't mind playing this one. Again, I'd be breaking my rule of not touching bios, but again, it's a perfectly technical setup on a curling MACD on a jumping RSI. Weekly chart is strong. I like it. I like Guild Sciences. I liked it. Let's see. What else do we have in here? What other stocks did we focus on? We talked about AMC. Plan we discussed. Boozy. Little Voozy Vert. Okay. Voozy is in one that got beat up heavily. Look at this. Down from 32. It's curling back up. This is another one I would look to play call options on. Are we hitting resistance? A little bit. But nothing significant. Does it have a 200-day yet? It does. Okay, look, a lot of you are going to see this and say, this is a death cross. Dummy, don't play. Death cross resolves itself after the downward movement has happened. So the death cross has happened. You could golden cross very soon. Golden cross tends to resolve after. What are the options? And see, now this one, the open interest is low. You'd have to go in the money again, which I don't mind. I like it. I prefer in the money. Yes, out of the money moves a little bit quicker sometimes. I don't care, but you can go at them. You can play a $15 call on it. See, the delta's much higher on this one, though. Yeah, I'd play a $13 in the money call on this one. But again, I'd look for it to resolve its resistance before entering. If you look here, your resistance is around 1344. If you look here, resistance around 1350. So 1350, I look for it to break 1350, then enter my options call and then ride it up. That's how I would play Boozy. What changes are you looking to do long-term for the month of September? I'm currently up 63% on my long-term account. Congratulations. Wondering if I should pull out for the month. If it's your long-term account, Samuel, again, not financial advice, but I don't touch it. If the long-term, we call it a long-term account for a reason, right? Meant to be long-term. We're going to keep it in there long-term. We're not going to touch it. That's long-term gains, long-term money. I let it ride out. I DCA into my long term. Like, I don't even look at it some days. I say if it's your long term, there's a lot of FUD around the month of September. There was also a lot of FUD around the month of August, which was a fantastic month for me personally. Thank God, knock on wood. I don't care. Months don't matter to me. That stuff doesn't matter to me because I trade day to day. My long-term account is meant to be long-term. Had you sold everything during the COVID crash, you'd be out of a lot of money, right? Because everything recovered. I'm not worried about it. I think we're going to have a strong fall. A lot of people are very bearish on it. I'm bullish on it. I've been right so far. Knock on wood again. But I think we're going to have a good September. I'm not worried about it. Pfizer, let's take a look at it. Boomer Rubape. Fantastic name. Busy Pfizer is cooling off. Discussed this with you guys. I said we can't go up forever. I promised you guys we can't go up forever. We've been playing puts in the Patreon, and it's been doing very, very well for us. I can show you. That's called. This is puts. Load for me. Okay, there we go. As you can see, 30%, 38%, 20%. You can do very well. And this is just today. It doesn't show you the overall weekly change that has happened for the puts that we started taking in, I think, Friday. We started taking puts on Friday. I think what's going to happen here is you are approaching support here around 46. You do have good support here around 46, as you've seen in the past. I'd say either it bounces tomorrow, which I don't think it will. There's no real signs of a bounce happening. I need to turn on my 4-hour. There's no real sign of a bounce happening. You see it came down to the 45.93. I would watch it, but I wouldn't play call options on this just yet. What I would look to do is, if you're bullish on it, we can see when their next earnings are. PFE. I think they're going to blow out their next earnings. That's what I think, and I think they're going to raise their guidance, which is it's going to be one of those massive earnings movers. So let's go to calendar. October. So I'd look for November calls. November 19th. So was that October 10th? That was the end of. So you have to go to November. I'd look for November calls, which are very cheap. I'd go in the money. I go with the 45s just to give myself some buffer room on the way down, because where I see this coming down to is the 200 moving average is around 43, or the lower Bollinger Band. So I'd even go more in the money. I'd even look at a $42 call option, $43 call option in the money that far out. Play it out that way. That's what I would do. Yeah, that's what I would do. But I play options very differently than most people do. A lot of people like to go out the money deeply and do crap like that, but that's what I would do. GSM. Let's take a look. I believe this is the satellite company. No, this is the minerals. I'm mixing it up with another one that did something else. Hey, it's running. GSM is running. Fantastic move on GSM, Ferroglobe. I'd say take profits. Because, look, you're above the Bollinger Band now. You're above the top Bollinger Band. Let me zoom in a little bit so you guys can see a little better. This gets dangerous up here. You get dangerous when you're here. It gets even more dangerous when you're up there. So I'm going to turn this off for a second. Something is not allowing me to kind of... Okay, that's weird. But there's no need for the 50 right now. But if you look, these things tend to resolve themselves around the 90 MA. So I would definitely look to take profits. I wouldn't buy puts because this could turn into a momentum play and keep going. As you can see here, look, you could stay in the overbought territory forever. Yeah, don't look at this and be like, I'm going to buy puts. I'm going to buy puts. It's going to come crashing. It could come crashing down tomorrow, but what could also happen is you can get burned heavily. If you want to play puts on it, this is a good. Actually, these guys only have monthlies. So what I would say is go in the money and then buy some puts. Buy some in the money puts, or $8 puts are fine too. They're cheap as shit. The OI is the OI on this is insane. $1? Like, who's buying these? That's really weird. Yeah, I wouldn't touch this. I wouldn't touch it. I'd take profits if you're in it. OPGN. We are winding down a bit. I do want to take a look at a few plays before we exit. OPGN is on support. If it doesn't hold support, it will come down to the midline. If it does hold support, you'll keep chugging back up. But I think that had a nice move today. It's cooling off now, as you can see here. Let it cool off. I wouldn't enter it. I take profits. OPGN's bio, right? Yeah, pharmaceutical. It's like OCGN, that crappy thing situation there. ELYs we discussed. Okay. What are we doing? What's next? Josh says Blackberry. Sure. Blackberry was setting up for a big move. And it did. It looks like it took the move today. Yesterday it didn't do it. Yesterday it cooled off. Friday it had a very good move. The momentum stocks, I don't think they're done. I think one of them is just waiting to go off, and then the rest will follow. I think that's what's going on here. And look, Blackberry's Blackberry's a fantastic stock aside from the momentum movement. It's great. That's all I can say. It's great. You just need one of the firecrackers to go off for all the momentum plays to start moving. And I think it'll be GameStop. I think GameStop will be the one that moves it this time. Facebook's running, man. Zuckerberg is doing his thing. Look at that. I think we hit another 52-week high today. Yeah, we did. Look, I said it. I said it. You guys can go back and watch the streams. You can date this. You can go back. I've been doing this show for a while. When we were in the 280s, I was saying Facebook is a $300 plus stock. This is a $1 trillion company. Everyone laughed at me. Everyone's like, "You're crazy. They're going to tear the company apart. They're going to do this, that." I said, "No." And then here we are, over $80 more than my price target. Now, we are higher than I imagined. I don't like this candle. I don't like this right now. I do think we cool off tomorrow, and I'd probably play puts on this. If I see it break the Bollinger Band, I'd probably play puts on this one. This is the thing. I think it comes down. This is how it kind of plays itself here. I think it comes down, consolidates around the 90 MA, maybe, or a little bit higher, around 373, and then maybe makes its next leg up, or just kabooms up, right? It really depends on the NASDAQ, right? How NASDAQ is doing for our tech stock. And if you look here, you guys see this, right? I'm not crazy. They're parallel setups. Look at this. Even the candles are the same. What the heck? Okay, so before I screw things up, I want the time indicators and crosshairs synced up. Okay, so what happens is if I don't do that before I bring it in, it resets all my indicators. Take a look at this. What do you guys see? Almost parallel candles here. Parallel movement. Very parallel movement. You see this? Keep an eye on QQQ, adjust accordingly. That being said, I do think we need to cool off. It ran up. We hit a 52-week high. It needs to cool off. We saw and Resson, two penny plays folks love a lot. I know I played this a while back on a swing play. It's picking up, but you do have strong. Excuse me. We do have strong resistance here on the 20 MA. You need to break that, and it's not breaking that. There's not enough volume to break that. RESN. By the way, one more time before we end the stream, I do want to remind you and ask you kindly, sub to my YouTube channel too. Got really cool stuff coming out. Got another live podcast coming out tomorrow. If you guys do that, it would mean a lot to me. I'm trying to get some movement going there. The YouTube algorithm has not been very kind to my YouTube channel. If you guys could do me a solid, subscribe there. We can build a little following there. I can do more stuff like this at a higher velocity there for longer periods of time. My goal is to really help you guys out there. If you guys subscribe, it'll mean the world to me. The Patreon opens up tomorrow. Again, if you guys want to learn how to do this kind of technical analysis, I do have a full course there. I'm building a course on options trading now too, which I'm very, very, very excited about. The Patreon will get you access to that. Now it's closed until tomorrow, but if you shoot me a DM, I'll send you an individual link to get in before, because I'm only opening up 10 slots for this month. We're already packed. It's sold out for September. Thank God, knock on wood. But I'm only adding 10 slots. And if those 10 slots get filled up, I'm going to have to raise the prices on it. And I don't want to do that to Benzinga members because you guys are fantastic to me. So if you guys shoot me a DM, I will get you into this current price slotting before the price goes up, and I bring you into that slot. And that price will have be a significant movement because we've incorporated options trading for 2 months now. We didn't raise the prices according to the options trading because we wanted to test it. Clearly, we're kicking butt there, and I think it's time for a price bump there. So we will definitely be doing that. So definitely, please, please, please reach out to me. DM me on Twitter, which is right here. Follow me and DM me on Twitter, and we can definitely talk. And I can get you in there. All right. All right. So we did that. Resin, very similar situation, 20 MA resistance, but you have volume coming in. Your volume is picking up very slowly here, but it's picking up. Resonant was a software company, right? This is another one that I remember very, very vaguely. It's picking up. Look, and you need volume. That's the name of the whole game, right? Someone's trying to buy 15K shares of plan on the level 2. Oh, that's Sung. What's up, buddy? I was like, that looks familiar. Oh, it's Meat Song. Yeah, dude, someone is trying to get into plan heavy. And if you look, we're back up. Last time we looked, we were at 13. You're forming something here. I can't log in here because if I log in, my account information will pop up for you guys to see the level 2, but I'm going to look at it on my phone real quick. I was like, that guy looks really familiar. I was like, oh, that's Sung. Yeah, someone's trying to buy 15,000 shares of plan at 68.50. You guys see that little line right there? You see that? That's a big buy order that's coming in. Now, part of me thinks it's Sung doing this buy order, but I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt that it's not Sung. All right. Let me see. We've got 5 more minutes. Which is a better investment, Palantir or Cardano? Blue, thank you for the wow, $20. You didn't have to do that. I'm sure the Benzinga team will appreciate that. I can't give you investment advice, but I can tell you something. I'm invested in both. Long-term, 2 to 3 years, Palantir is better. Cardano, short-term, could do much better. Let's pull up both of their charts. You did not have to do that. I did plan my accident. Cardano is consolidating here around these high points. I really wish I would have bought down here at the 2.5. I made my initial investment here down here, but I think Cardano has the potential to go to the $5 to $7 price range in the short term. I think when Bitcoin golden crosses, it will pull everything else with it up. That's kind of just how it works. Everyone follows the big boy, right? So I think that that's what's going to happen there. Right now, you are entering bearish territory. So patiently scale into Cardano if you like it and play it out that way. But you have support here at the 2.4 area is where I would look to start entering is around 2.5. Everyone's going to want to enter at 2.4. You enter at 2.5. Does a few cents, doesn't matter. Slowly scale in. Palantir is another company that I love a lot. You guys have seen me talk about it. This is one that I do think this will be. I think this company will be a $50 to $70 billion company in the next 1 to 2 years max. If you look here, we are clearly setting up for a move to the $27 area, right? Again, I slowly scale into here. This one, I wish you would have asked this question when we were trading sideways here. I'd say buy Palantir as much as you can and you'd start paying off now. But hindsight's 2020, and we probably didn't know each other back then. But I would say I like Palantir as well. I like Palantir a lot, but I'd say Palantir at this point in time, I'd say wait for the $25 area, or as always, one recommendation that I'd make to anyone, not financial advice, is always dollar cost averaging. I like both. I'd say DCA into both of them. Yeah, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. I'm sure the Benzinga team appreciates that. I hope that answered the question. If not, shoot me a DM. I'll be more than happy to answer it. All right, we're down to 3 minutes. The chat's going wild about ADA. I love ADA too. It'll be, I dropped $1 million on Lucid. I think it'll be $300,000 in a month for me. Wow. Easy money 5. That's a lot of dinero to drop on Lucid, but I think so too. I think in a few months Lucid will be fine. I think in the short term it will bleed though. Yeah, that's where I'm waiting to. I agree with you there. If it goes to 15, that's where I make my bigger move onto it. Do you see Palantir drop to $21 range by end of year? I don't think so. Quentin, I'll be honest with you. I think we are building base support here around 23 now, which is very interesting to see. Could we have if we have a correction? Yeah, sure. We can come down to 17 again. But I do think that if we do have, even if we have a correction, we come down to the mid 21, 22s. And that's if we have a correction. Everyone's saying correction. And what I found is when everyone's bearish about the market, it tends to go bullish. When everyone's bullish about the market, it tends to go bearish. And right now everyone's bearish, so I'm bullish. That's how I'm operating. And clearly the stocks are reflecting the bullish sentiment, right? Because when everyone's scared, that's when you should be buying. What's going to happen to Hood? Nothing. They're not going to, Justin, I highly doubt they're going to ban pay for order flow. payment for order flow. And they're not going to ban that, because then that means all of these free brokerages go away, and that means the velocity of money slows down in the markets, and no one likes that. And I think that I said this before too a long time ago to you guys. I said Robinhood is a 30 max $40 stock. I think it's overvalued here. I think it goes lower. I think we'll see it in a market correction if we get one. When we get one, not if, eventually we'll get one, you'll see the true price. I think around 30, $35 is where I would buy Hood up here. Not really interested. I do prefer SoFi over Hood because of everything else that they have with Galileo and all this other stuff. But Robinhood's there as well. And we know that Webull is also IPOing, which is going to be interesting. I don't know what's taking them so long, but what's going to happen? No, I don't think anything happens to them, honestly. I am from Denver, Colorado. Palantir headquarters is 4 miles away from my house. Go there and get me some DD. Sell Palantir put for $28 for October and be ready for $100 stock collection. That'd be awesome. That's actually a good strategy. A lot of people don't do that. Is you could sell puts and then just wait for them to be assigned to you, and you get to collect a premium. That's what I did with SoFi. I've sold $15 puts recently on it, and I'm waiting to be assigned. I collected a handsome premium because the stock was down. So I think I'm going to, when they get assigned to me, they're around like $14 or something like that. PFOF banned here in UK, I'm sure. Yeah, UK is very different than the US, though, because we got to remember money moves the US a lot more than it does in the UK. And these guys, no big boys. Palantir is worth $15 tops, way overvalued. Dennis, I highly disagree with you there, buddy. Hood will drop below IPO, but Citadel is keeping them above IPO rigged, but that's the truth. Yeah. There's big money behind it, man. You got a lot of pumpers too pushing Hood. The fact that Hood became a momentum play, it added insult to injury to everything that happened during the AMC Gamestop situation, in my personal opinion. SRNG, I love SRNG, who they're merging with a lot, but I cut all my SPACs. I will add them post DSPAC though. It is one of those bio plays I'm fine dancing with, but I know in my gut that they're going to take a hit after they merge, right? It's just the financials. Appreciate you. So, yep, looking forward to seeing you guys in the next stream as well. I'll be back here Thursday from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern. Opinion. Okay, last one. We'll do Tilray together. That's the last one. TLRY. No, I entered the wrong ticker. Somehow there's a ticker for everything. Tilray Holdings. Look, cannabis is not. This is not the year for cannabis. This is not the year for cannabis. The only cannabis stock I would buy is MAPS. This is not the year for cannabis. And I've said that multiple times. Some people listen, some people don't. I think Tilray comes lower. It had a good day today, but I think it doesn't stay up that long because it's just not there. This isn't the time for cannabis right now. This is not the time for it. This is my opinion. Did very good today. I hope people made money, but as you can look, this 20 MA's resistance, it'll take a hit. I think so. I think it will. I think all SPACs tend to drop after. Look at SoFi. It went from 27 to like 14 now, 15 now. What are they at? SoFi is at 14 now. Look, this is where they were trading at before. They came down. This is what happened. Look, this is the lockup. This is what happens on lockups. This on earnings and lockups. This is what happens. People tend to forget about that. This was the whole lockup sell-off. When I show this to people that are in Lucid, they don't believe me. They're like, "You're spreading FUD." I'm not. It's just it's the nature of SPACs. What's going on with Big? I got to look at option last week. Please take profits, noble trader. Freaking hey! Congratulations on the 6-figure window. That's awesome. So if I just sell out of the money put for 40 days, yeah, it's an easy way to make money. Long-term play, but put it away. Yeah, I agree with you 100% there, Stephen. 1,000% agree with you there. Quick question. Okay, last one. Quick question. How do you deal with options that are manipulated by big buyers and sellers? See it all the time with leaps. I don't care. This is the thing. I don't concern myself with the politics of the stock market and the manipulation of the stock market. I don't care. I feel privileged to be able to participate in the stock market, so I really don't care. Manipulation is going to happen all over the world. We see it in politics. We see it in geopolitics. We see it in day-to-day transactions. You can see it at your local office where the guy hires his cousin instead of hiring you or promoting you. That's just how the world is. The world moves in its own certain ways. There's going to be people that break the rules, and there's going to be people that fight to fix those rules. And I rather use my energy to find ways to make money amongst the manipulation, around the manipulation, rather than worrying about it. Leaps make people tremendous amounts of money. Options make people tremendous amounts of money. Will they be manipulated? Of course. There's manipulation everywhere. That's the name of the game. I think over time it will be fixed, but I'm not going to spend my time worrying about it or fighting it online, because I think it's just screaming into a void. Unless you have millions of dollars and you can kind of pay off some Congress people or senators to kind of do the things that you want them to do to undo the manipulation. But I think at that point, once you get to that, I think you just stop caring. I already did. Now it's a lottery ticket. Congratulations. I'm very happy you took profits. Dennis says, true that. Thanks for naming it. My pleasure. All right, folks. Thank you so much for watching the stream. Before you leave, I need you to do one thing. Ryanstocks.com. I got to put the banner on the screen. Ryanstocks.com. YouTube, subscribe for me. Subscribe for me to the YouTube channel. It means a lot. We're getting close to 4.2 thousand. It'll mean a lot if we can get there. Hit that subscribe button. There's 200 of you in here. Do me a favor. Do me a solid. I'd appreciate that if you guys did that. Patreon opens up tomorrow. The prices will be jumping significantly. So if you want to get in, I will honor to you guys that are in here. If you shoot me a DM, I will honor the current pricing for you. If you shoot me a DM today, not tomorrow, not 6 weeks from now, shoot me a DM on Twitter, and then I will honor that pricing for the Patreon for you if you guys are from this stream. So we're going to come up with a code word, which is SoFi to the moon. So if you message me, SoFi to the moon Patreon, let me know what tier you wanted, and I'll honor it at the original pricing. So that's the deal that we have together. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram too. Some of you folks are slowly getting into that Instagram. Follow me there. I want to do some cool content there, but we got to hit 1,000 followers there before I can start doing anything of substantial value, because I'll be just posting for people who are not financial people. So follow me there. Robinhood and Webull, 2 free stocks, 1 free stock. You guys want some free Bitcoin, Coinbase and Gemini, and we do have some stocks merch there as well. And if you want Benzinga Pro, sign up, get a 2-week free trial. I get $10 if you guys sign up. For everyone that you sign up, and just if you want to keep it and use your 30% off promo code RyanR for life, you get 30% off, or delete it and I still get a little kickback. But again, very important. If you want into that Patreon for that cheaper pricing, please DM me, and remember to include the code word SoFi to the moon. And if you don't, that's okay. Just DM me on Twitter and I will add a slot for you. Man, you guys are amazing. I don't know what DDD is, but I don't want to replace anyone. But thank you. I appreciate your kind words. Thank you so much. Thank you all so much. You guys are awesome. You guys are so kind. This is why I do this. You guys are the best. You guys are the best. By guys, I mean like all of you. Bet. Trying Benzinga. Yeah, Dennis, try it out. It's actually very good. If you're like playing news catalysts and stuff like that, like if you're playing bios, the news comes in fairly fast. And they've got this new advanced news feed that they're working on, which I'm having a lot of fun with. Which comes in. It does what I needed to do for me, and it's cool. You also got scanners and screeners, and you can set up calendars. One of the favorite things that I know a lot of folks like to use for earnings, economic stuff. It's got a lot of cool stuff in there. So definitely check it out. Play with it. Let me know what you think. All right, folks. I got a jet. I think there's another show after this. Let me just double check. If there isn't a show after this, I don't mind sticking around and answering a few more questions. Give me 1 second. I just want to make sure I'm not impeding on any. If there's no other show, I'll stick around and answer a few more questions. Hey, don't say that. I like Spencer's my boy. Spencer's my boy. I don't know the other two gentlemen at all. I've never interacted with them, but I've seen some of their shows. They're awesome. I think everyone serves their purpose here at Benzinga. But you guys do me a favor. Tweet Benzinga. Go out there, and if you guys are still watching, tweet Benzinga and tell them you like the program. Maybe we can make it a longer term thing, if you catch my hint. So yeah, tweet Benzinga at Benzinga. Let them know if you like the show. Let them know you enjoy watching. And I can't see the schedule here, which is weird. Usually I get like a little thing where it shows me the schedule, but I don't see the schedule today. I guess it's weird. I usually get the schedule here in the mornings, at least. I'm looking because if I can go a little longer, I think I'm free for the rest of the day. I'm fine answering a few more questions. Yeah, nothing. Let me check the YouTube. Because the thing I don't want to do is I don't want to go over someone else's time, or if someone else is going live. I think they're done for the day. Yeah, I think they're done for the day. So I'll answer a few more questions. 1 second. Let me just double check. Upcoming. Yep, they're done for this. I'll answer a few more questions. Why not? My YouTube channel, if you go to ryanstocks.com and you hit the first tile right here, it's my name, actually. You can also search my name, and it'll take you right here to my YouTube channel. I'd appreciate that if you guys subscribe. It's pumping back to VWAP now. Big, let's do it. Let's take a look at Big. Let's take a look at Big. So you guys do me a solid. We'll answer a few more questions. I see Peloton and Sava. We're going to talk about those as well. So we're going to do these three first, and we're going to think about here. Until I get kicked off, we'll keep going. You know what? We'll keep going. All right. Big is just not freaking slowing down. Song, I got to design that, and I'm a crappy designer, so I'll try to do it this weekend. But we're doing some podcasting. So Sung is actually one of the admins on the Patreon on our Discord server. He does fantastic option calls there, and he's also on our podcast, which we have on the channel, which I think I showed you guys a little earlier, but I'll sneak it in here one more time. If you look here, we did an episode here on Fisker, we did an episode here on hedging, and then we did another episode here on a lot of different stuff here. And Sung and Larry had fun talking about sports a bit. So I'll kind of hint that and tease that to you. But Sung likes to say, to be honest with you, a lot, which is good to have some honest people in the stock community. So we're going to make shirts for that. But Big is interesting, man. Big is getting pumped like crazy. It's just going. There's really not much. See, at this point, when your stock chart starts looking like this, it becomes very like, I don't see this slowing down right now. I can see like it hit resistance here today at 843. Excuse me, 834. And after hours, I don't care for after hours unless after hours move into significant volume, which while it's significant volume in the after hours. Well, not really, sort of, but I think that it continues to keep going. Like your 9 EMA support, I think if you break the 9 EMA, that's when you guys got to like take profits, but that's 50% from where you are right now. So definitely be careful with Big. Peloton, I promised to talk about Peloton. Peloton's getting interesting. Look, I added Peloton at 98 with Sung. Sung and I both added Peloton at 98 when the earnings drop happened. I don't need this here. This isn't going to do me any good. Peloton's struggling. It's struggling. They reduced guidance, and when you reduce guidance, it's like a fish out of water, struggling, fighting to get air, fighting to find support. It's trying its best. But it's just having a really, really hard time. Realistically, how do I feel about Peloton long term? I could not care less if it dips again. I'll be more than happy to buy it because if you look here, if we go back in time, we've got strong support around 97, 98, which is where I added it. I think in a matter of weeks, it's going to be very similar to what happened with Etsy. Etsy did the same thing. We go right back up. Let me show you Etsy so you can prove it to you. Etsy, very similar movement, right? On earnings, big drop off, and then sold off, and then came right back up, right? No, that's not Etsy, that's Etsa. What the heck? There we go. See, Etsy, big drop off, cooled off, found its bottom, and then it kind of went back up. Zoom is doing the very similar thing. Zoom took a massive gap down today and sold off today. But I think Zoom comes back up too. I mean, this is the thing, man. Zoom is here to stay. Zoom is one of those stocks that's here to stay. Like some people say it's like the end of Zoom. I don't think so. I don't think so, man. I think Zoom's here to stay. Everyone's using it. I'm back in the office on some days where I'm working. We still meet via Zoom. Like we don't do any more like boardroom meetings. Like we got people from all over the 5 boroughs, and we still do board meetings via Zoom because it's easier. I can sit at my desk, I put my headphones on, turn on the webcam from all over. We don't have to meet up. We don't have to drive to see each other. We got the Zoom contracts already set up. I don't see why not. I'd be bad to do that. Sava. Sava is one that I hear a lot of crap about Sava. I don't know anything about Sava because I know they're in their sciences, but massive diver here. I can't comment on it because it's a bio stock. I don't know anything about it. Technically, it looks like it wants to curl up, but it's still fighting to find support here in the $49 area, $50 area. It had a good day today. That's a bullish candle. We go pop right up, but we'll have to see tomorrow. But again, this is one that I don't play with because I don't understand it. If I don't understand it, I won't play it. Can you do into? Sure thing, buddy. Let's go. Albert wants into. We're going to do into the moon. Inuit. Oh, wow. Look at this. Beautiful chart. Just ripping. Like, this is the thing. I love stocks that just ride the Bollinger Band up, man. Look at that. This is my favorite setup, by the way. Bollinger Band, between the Bollinger Band and the 9 EMA. It's very parallel to SPY. I think these guys are semiconductors or software. Yeah, they're software. These guys are the TurboTax folks. Yeah, these guys are the TurboTax folk. Okay, that makes sense. Obviously, they're going to be doing good. We all pay taxes, don't we? So they're just chugging. Look, this is what I'll say is I'm going to add this to a watch list for when it comes down to the 9 EMA and play some options on it again. This is a massive mover. This is no joke. Oh, I hate it. The OI is low. Look at that. No open interest. I can't play options on it, but swinging the stock is good. But it's difficult at this point, right? It's an expensive stock. Would be very beneficial to this company, especially if their float is low. They could do a 4-to-1 split, a 1-to-4 split, excuse me, and then that would ramp up. This could go massively higher. But I do agree with you guys. You guys are talking about big. I think big is going to be very good. Jeff, spot on to Jeff. Great podcast. Thank you, Jeff. Can we look at Activision? Sure, I'm bullish and stuff's going to. I agree too. I like Activision's going to be fine. I think Activision long term is going to be fine. Look, they're already establishing their base support is around $80. The bad PR hit, true it or not, I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a judge. I trade stocks. It closed above the 9 EMA. Did it close above the mid? Just shy of the midpoint. I think. Look, this is the thing. This is very parallel to like what we saw with Peloton. With Palantir, trading sideways for a bit, and then once it pops, it'll pop. It's a bullish chart. I think I would enter call options on this if we break 83.53. That's when I would enter call options onto this stock, which would be around like 10.17. I'm probably playing the 83 call option. 150. These aren't bad actually. Yeah, that's when I would be playing Activision call options, would be if we break this 83.53 point, because I need confirmation that we're breaking above this 20 MA. That's just how I play it. Dude, your links to the new page doesn't work. What? Surf King, you got to go to ryanstocks.com. If you go to ryanstocks.com, oh wow, we're doing Inception here. That's weird. Hold on. The links in the description of the video is just Ryan Stocks. They didn't link my YouTube down there. Let me put Ryan Stocks in the chat for you, or the whatever the actual thing is here. I put it in there. And that little orange thing that you guys that's about to show up on the screen, if you even click my head thing, I think it'll take you to my YouTube channel. No, you're not spamming, man. Give me 1 second, I'll get to your stocks, I promise. MMAT. I hear a lot of people talk about. I'm not touching MMAT, man. Metamaterials, that thing got wrecked by the Torchlight merger, destroyed it. It's picking up now. I get the whole high short interest appeal. There's too many high short interest plays. You're in big, Noble. You're killing it with big. Big is the big one that everyone's looking at right now. That's the darling child. That and SPRT. Personally, MMAT, look, it could explode. We wake up and this thing's like a $12 stock via a short squeeze or whatever. But look, it's slowly making its way back up. These guys need news. They're a news-driven company. That's just how they really work. I don't really know too much about them. The chart's good. Look, you got 9 EMA support. You've got a bullish RSI. You got bullish MACD. Where would I set my price target to? You clearly have resistance here at 468, right? 460. I'm sorry, 4.7. You have resistance, which is parallel to essentially this area of where these candles would be touching. You're building sort of a rounding bottom, which is bullish. I don't know how I would play this. This is the thing. These high short interest stocks, they're cool. They got momentum to do these kind of movements up here, but they're also quite dangerous too. They can leave you holding it back. Because like this thing, if everyone sells, you're back to $3, right? Richard, we just talked about Saba. I don't know anything about them, and I wouldn't touch them. They're bio stocks. I don't play with bio stocks. Come on, folks. Let's get this to 100 likes. Let's do that. Listen to DK. Get this thing to 100 likes, but also help get this YouTube channel subscriber count up. Come on, folks. You see this guy? He's telling you, get it up. Get it up. Sorry about that. I'm just having fun with you guys. Usually, I don't get this long of a time slot. I'm playing $700 calls, 12, 17. Albert, you're talking about Into, right? That's really out the money. I'm assuming you're talking about Into, Albert. If I remember off the top of my head, you're playing $700 call. Oh, 12, 7. Okay. Premium's not that bad, actually. You're bleeding a little. That's weird, though. The thing is, that's the thing when you're playing leaps that far out the money, your thing is still going to bleed. Like, look, you're down 2.6% on a day where the stock is actually up. Shouldn't be that way. That's theta eating away at you. That's just theta loss. That's theta decay. It's not IV crush because there's nothing to crush your IV. There's nothing going on that's manipulating the IV on the stock. But OI is also low. You probably all 6 of those contracts are probably just you right now. So you really can't do anything. You have no one to sell them to either. That's why, like with this kind of stock, I'd go in the money. It's going to get a little bit more expensive. And see, like that's stupidly expensive for a contract, in my personal opinion. Like, with these, I would what I did with Pfizer, play them month to month. I play the 17s, then I'd play the 1s, then I'd play the 8s, then I'd play the 15s, then I'd come to the 17s. So as open interest picks up, so theta doesn't eat me away. Sorry if I'm spamming. Should I stay away from ride-hailing, Uber, Lyft, Didi? I like Uber because of the food delivery spaces they're in. Thanks, Ryan. Look, Didi, I'm not touching. I don't play Chinese stocks because they're just too risky. We saw what happened with Didi, right? Not decimated on IPO by the Chinese government. So I'm not going to touch it. I don't trust it. It's government. The Chinese government doesn't like it. It's not going to go up. Chinese government loves NIO, loves expat. They're going to go up, right? Uber. Why is Uber going down? I'll be honest with you. I live in New York. Cabs are cheaper than Ubers now again. So Uber's got it too expensive, and people say, you know what? I'm not going to take an Uber anymore. And trains are cheaper than Ubers, right? I'm just talking about my area, right? And you know, New York is famous for Ubers and the whole Uber versus taxi situation. It's in a downtrend. Not for me. I also ethically, I don't like Uber because they wiped out the taxi system without any like reserves. I could see Uber filling this gap down, by the way. Should I play puts on this? All right, this is how I'd play it. We're going to do this together. Rounding top right here too, right? Bearish. This is how I play it. Let me see if this lines up with this point. Look at that. Textbook $49 support. If $49 support breaks, we're coming all the way down to this area. We're probably going to hit this area of 36. I'll bet you puts are probably quite expensive right now. So I'd have to go to the 17th. No, that's too far out. I'd buy $39 puts on this one. 80 cents a pop. Yeah, that's what I would do. I'd wait for that to break 39, and then I'd buy 39 in the money. Puts on it. It's got to go down. And if Uber goes down, Lyft goes down parallel to it. So you could play these. You play them. We could play them together. That's the same way. Like if you play NIO, you could play XPEV. They both move together. NIO, XPEV, and LEAD. So like you can buy contracts in all three, and they all move together. It's very rare to see them move out of coordination. What is it? LYFT. I bet you there's a gap on this chart too. You guys see this head and shoulders pattern? Very bearish. Very bearish. Look at that. No. How would I do that? Okay, look, I'm not textbooking this head and shoulders. It's all on the fly. But It looks very head and shoulders to me, and you have a gap down here as well. Now you're very far away from your gap, so I'm not worried about that gap filling as if I was an investor in Lyft, which I'm not. Not quite fond of the ride hailing. If I had to invest in one of them, and if you really want one of the ride hailing ones, I do Lyft over Uber. Because Uber has more. Now, if Uber fills the gap, then I would buy Uber. But Didi, I wouldn't touch. Wouldn't touch Didi to save my life. From Atlantic City, my family's from Newark. Love in New York City. Living in Arizona. Missing. Appreciate you, man. AP got some ends from Big today. Tells you. What are ends? Oh, you mean like dividends? Ryan, what do you think about the Garden MSG? Oh, I don't even know if they had a stock. Puts. I'm just kidding. Doing very good. Look at that. It's doing very good. Where are my Bollinger Bands? Right in the top Bollinger Band up. That's very bullish. I don't think OI is going to be high on this one. I was correct. Those are puts, though. That's a $5 spread. This could keep going. I wish you would have. Todd, where were you when this was $60? We could have made some tendies together, man. I would have said let's buy the dip. They had very good earnings, it looks like it, surprisingly. But everyone's going out to MSG again, man. Everyone's going back out to the games, and people are just desperate for some connection. It's doing good. Speaking of that, let's take a look at Bumble. That piece of shit's got to be picking up by now, right? I told everyone the IPO app. I said this thing is overvalued piece of garbage. It's coming down, and it did. I'm saying the same thing about Robinhood. Most of these IPOs, man, they come down below 50% of their IPO price. Now, Bumble's picking up. Bumble's picking up very well, but it's a little bearish right now. I think you'll retest the 9 EMA one more time before you pick up and go to the 60s. That's where I'd look to pick up some call options on this for 917, which I don't know if that's enough. It'll be enough time. Look at the price disparity. Disparity. I'm fumbling words now. Look, 92 cents versus 245. Such a big, and then your delta. I just buy more of the 60s at this point. Yeah, I'd look what I would do. How I would play Bumble. Now, I know this isn't from the chat. I brought this up myself. You bastard. You're supposed to answer our questions. I'd look for a bounce off the 9 EMA, and I'd add calls. Now, if you don't bounce, I'd add puts because you're coming down to the 20 MA, right? And what puts would I play? Play the 55s. Play the 55 puts. If you look, OI is too low. You have to go with a higher OI, right? Look, the OI is down 7%, right? You have to go with the 50s at this point, right? You can't go in the money because the OI is too low. I'd play these right here. They're not that expensive. Disparity. Thank you, Paulina. Appreciate you. Price disparity. Match Group actually has a PE ratio unlike Bumble. Yeah. I don't know Match. I've never looked at Match. The only reason I know Bumble is because I looked at their IPO. Because I made a joke to one of my buddies. He goes, he's already opened up an account. I said, I'm immediately buying puts because you open up an account, you're going to destroy the app. I don't want to make fun of him now on live internet. But I should have bought the puts. I should have bought the freaking puts at $80. I should have put all my money in the puts. I knew it was going to tank. Why is Benzinga so expensive? I don't know. I don't get paid to be here. I don't know. I'm doing this for free, man. I don't know who Charlie is. Shoot them an email, man. I'm sorry Charlie's calling you. I thought someone by the name of Amy calls me. I don't know who Charlie is. BA falling wedge on the daily. Let's see, BA. Boeing is one that's so disappointing on the price action. I knew I should have sold it up here. Boeing is actually one of the first ones that I bought during COVID. It's just been trading sideways. You need to regain the 9 EMA. If you regain the 9 EMA, then you can make your move up to the 20 MA, and then I'd look to, you could play calls between here, but this has been proving to be strong resistance, right? Match owns Tinder and Hinge. Interesting. I don't give a shit. I don't care about either. Like those companies, like the structure of their companies, I think that they're not natural, so I don't really fuck with them. I don't know if they'll make me any money. But that's an interesting fact, though. No, I appreciate you bringing that up. Now I want to see the stock. All right, piece of crap. Wow. These guys all suck, huh? Look at that gap down on earnings. Died off, trying to recover, 20 MA resistance. It's probably going to reject it and come back down. Yeah. These things were cool like 5 years ago. Like they worked 5 years ago. And they made money 5 years ago. But now it's just, it doesn't work like that anymore. We got 100 likes. Holy crap. We got 100 likes. Thank you. We got 2 dislikes. We need more dislikes. I'm just kidding. Don't give me more dislikes. Shout out to you guys. Thank you for all the likes. You guys are amazing. By the way, don't forget, go to ryanstocks.com. Link in the description. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you want to join the Patreon, shoot me a DM. Prices are going up next month. Slots will be opening up next month. But if you're from this stream, if you DM me, go to my Twitter. DMs are open. Shoot me a DM. Say, hey, I want to be in the Patreon, and I'll honor the original pricing for you guys. So only during the first week, though. If you come too late, we can't do it anymore. That's the one deal that I have with you guys because I like you guys. And follow me on Twitter as well. I do want to wind this down, though, in like 15 minutes because I got to do some YouTube videos. Later, buddy. Do you think big could take off like support? Let's take a look at the floats. That's at this point, float is what matters, right? The name of the game. They're clearly both stocks that have. I know SPRT has a very low float, 15 mil. Called SPRT at $4. Ran to $60. If you're on the Patreon, those guys were dancing, man. They were doing the dancing, man. Why are see? This is what one bad candle does is like it ruins the scale of everything. SPRT 15 million. Big, about the same float. Look, this is the thing, man. We went from 2 to 10, so you 5x. Sport went from 4 to 60, which is what? What is that? 60 divided by 4, 15x. I think you peaked at 10. No, could it retest? Yeah, if momentum comes in. But this is the thing. There's so many people. People are talking about big. People are talking about Root. Root is another one. Everyone's like, oh, this is shorted. Big to the moon. Another one is SBET. Everyone's like, SBET's going to the moon. Highly shorted. Right? Now this one down. If people move this 1.42 million, holy crap! This thing, like, you could sneeze at it and it should go up. That's how low it is. I loaded 250 Lucid today. I love Lucid long term, but not short term. Hut, love it. I bought Hut this week too. What do you think of Infi? Had a big sell off and then 120% gain. Do you think it can break out? Let's take a look at it. Infi. Pharmaceuticals. What are you guys doing to me? You're talking about this sell off? Look, it's trading sideways. You need to break above this, and you death crossed off of that. That makes sense. Look, it's a pharmaceutical company, so it needs news. People need a reason to buy. If you give them a reason to buy, they'll buy. We've seen that before. If you don't give them a reason, they're not going to buy. Take advantage of the bulls of Wall Street. Book freaking. Oh, we got a spammer to the shadow realm. Bye. Yeah, long term. I love both long term too. Okay, folks, we had fun. We jammed out. We got to 107 likes. We got 4 dislikes. Come on, what are you guys doing? Disliking the video. Thank you for watching, though. I love it. If you're here and you're just so angry that you got to dislike the video, I really appreciate you sticking around and watching. It means the world to me. I'm flattered. So I hope you guys learned something. If I helped you guys learn anything, if you guys had fun, do me a solid. Go to ryanstocks.com. Link in the description. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow me on Twitter. Hit the Instagram up. Let's have some fun there. Try out Benzinga Pro. You get 14 days for free with my link. And then if you want it for life, you want to keep it, Ryan R will give you 30% off for life. It's the only promo code that will do it for life. Jamie, if you go subscribe to my YouTube channel, I'll quickly go over AMC for you as well. But yeah, these are there. And again, the Patreon is important. If you want to learn how to do all this technical analysis that I was doing, I've got 2 massive playlists that are on the channel already. They're being added to bi-weekly, and I'm incorporating a third playlist I'm going to be building. I've been writing it out. I just have my notebook right there. I've been kind of writing out the playlist for the options. Options are a little bit more difficult to teach because they're multi-variable. So I'm building out a course for that as well. So that'll be available to you depending on the tier of the Patreon you're in. So definitely hit me up. All right, quickly, I will do Zella and AMC, and then I got to go. Ryan, Zella, you guys think is a stronger buy on it now? What do you think? Zella ran up today, so when the stock goes up like this, I don't buy it. 12% up. Actually, I take that back. Look, if it can cross the 50 MA and the 20 MA, which is essentially 2.6, if you can cross 2.6 and it's got a low float, this could be setting up for a massive move. I'll say that. I'll say that for sure. I'll give you that one. If it can do it, big if. But again, you need news. You need a reason for the stock to go up. You just can't go up because someone's pumping it. If some idiot's pumping it. But B. Riley starts a $4 PT. Okay, there you go. That's some news. Hence why you had a big move today. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. AMC really quickly. Last one to look at, and then I'm gonna jet. I got work to do. We discussed AMC earlier extensively. I said this. I'll reiterate what I said before. You need to get over this kind of $48 area. You need to get over that, and then it can make a move. But RSI strong, MACD strong. You need volume. That's the thing. Volume has been picking up, stepping up every single day. If it can continue to keep doing that, we could break 38 tomorrow, and then break 50, and then keep going up. I don't see any issues there at all with AMC. I was talking about AMC. So, folks, thank you again. Please do me a solid. Subscribe to the YouTube. Hit the like button on this video if you like it. My YouTube channel is linked at ryanstocks.com. Subscribe there. Follow me on Twitter. I want to see if any of you guys are actually following. Let's see. Where are you guys? None of you are here. Oh, there you guys are. Shout out to you guys. Shoot me a DM. I can't click this now because it'll be weird. You'll see my DMs. I don't want to do that. Not if there's anything bad in there, but shoot me a DM if you want the Patreon access for next month. Honored at the original pricing that we have now. If not, it will be going up significantly. I'll show you the pricing on it now. Sold out, but this will be going to 30. This will be going to 40. This will stay the same. So if you hit me up, I will honor the original pricing that you see here. I want to bump I need to bump them up because we're doing options trading. We're doing so much more in there. It takes so much more time. We're doing literally daily watch lists now. It's not weekly anymore. It's daily watch lists. So we need to do that. And I want to buy more software for scanning and finding like more plays and stuff like that. So we need to offset the costs somehow. So, right. So do me a favor, hit me up. We will make that happen for you. I'll honor that. And let's see how many likes do we end at. Did we get to 5 dislikes? Oh, whoa. We need one more to hit 120 likes. I will leave if we hit 120 likes. Just subscribe. What do you think about SPRT? I think SPRT is fantastic, but I think SPRT pulling off. I think the momentum peaked at 60. It's cooling off. I think we will probably come down to the $20 area before making a second run. Okay, look, we got spammers in the chat. Block user. Where did these guys come from? Guys, Jeff, there you go. You got the vote of confidence from Jeff from our group. He's one of our members, fantastic member, helps out a lot, provides a lot of data to me. Jeff, I do have to find that short interest thing on Benzinga, by the way. I saw your comment that's in the screener, but I couldn't find it. You know what? Let's do that right now. Why not? Right? Why not waste a few more minutes? Unusual options activity. Not signals, a screener. This is the thing. I'm not too familiar with this. Yeah, I'm not familiar with any of this stuff. I'll play with it later. So, okay, folks. Thank you for following on Twitter. I don't know 705. Yeah, so some guy or gal or whatever bot just came out like webcamchats.com. Hi guys and girls in video chat. It was like a billion messages back to back. Like, if they're smart and you want to spam, you do it like once every 10 messages. Like sneak one in there while he's not paying attention. But they just want to keep him coming in. All right, final plug: YouTube, Patreon, Twitter, Benzinga, Instagram. Webull. That's the platform that I was using here. Webull. 2 free stocks. Deposit $5. Make it happen. Robinhood. Great for options trading. Very, very fast. Get in and out. Coinbase for Bitcoin. Stock merch is there. That's a wrap, folks. I appreciate you all. I don't think they do, Noble. I think they have other kind of picks for you. They have other tips. But yeah, folks, thank you so much for watching. Appreciate you all. Make sure to do what you got to do. Have a great day or night. I will see you all on